Fala galera, eu sou o Cauê Paciorni, que está começando mais um Cauê Entrevista e recentemente eu fiz um vídeo no meu Instagram que eu falei de uma banda muito maneira que é o The Main Squeeze e hoje eu tô aqui com eles pessoalmente, so hey, how are you guys?
Beleza?
Tudo
bem?
Pretty good Portuguese over there. Are you having a good time here in Brazil?
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to start talking about the beginning of the band. Can you tell me how was the beginning at the university? How did you started?
You should do this one.
Yeah, we started in 2010 in Bloomington, Indiana. That's where we all went to university. And we all met in various ways on campus and started playing covers at first because we got pretty big gigs before we wrote any songs. Like right away, we were playing in front of a couple hundred people, and we played a lot of covers. And then within the first couple months, we started writing songs and slowly incorporating our originals within the covers, and developed a pretty big fan base in Indiana right away within the first year or two. And then a big pivotal point at the beginning is we won a international jazz and blues competition in Macau, China in 2012, and that allowed us to make our first album, buy a van, tour, and move to Chicago.
Cool.
And that was the beginning.
Yeah, and you already said that you did a lot of pretty nice covers. I'd like to know a little about your reference because you have covers from Michael Jackson to James Brown and the Beatles. Can you tell me a little bit about the reference of the band?
Yeah, it's all about the different tastes of every member. So all five of us came to the table with a different set of backgrounds and inspirations. And from the very beginning all the way till now, someone says, let's cover Led Zeppelin, let's cover Stevie Wonder, Pink Floyd, because other people in the band have different backgrounds that inspired them to bring that to the table. And then together we interpret it as a five-piece band in our own way. And I think that's where the magic comes in, because we are so different like background-wise that we have a different take on all these classic songs.
Great. In my Instagram, I did a video that I said that you are kind of a mix of the sound of Anderson .Paak from Silk Sonic and Jamiroquai. Do you agree with that? Did you have some reference of those guys?
That's a great gumbo right there. It's nice. Yeah, and kind of like Smiley was saying, we all come together in our own different backgrounds to meet in the middle. And it's funny, I tell people all the time, I didn't even know who Led Zeppelin was until I joined the band. So many great artists and music genres that I never even knew about, and I've come to love and appreciate just from being with these guys and touring all over the place. So it's been an amazing,
Great.
situation.
Yeah. I can feel that you are having fun doing that. And talking about your most recently album, Panorama, some people are saying that's the most ambitious album of you. And what do you think about that? And how was the process of doing this album, about doing Panorama?
It was definitely a different way of approaching it. We typically have in the past all kind of just met at a specific time and say we're just going to sit in a room and we're going to hash it out and then put it on wax. This time we had a lot more opportunities to really be patient and sit with ideas and music to let them flourish, on their own. Max was very pivotal in creating riffs and guitar lines, and Smiley, the great producer that he is, was able to take some of my ideas and make it kind of fit together with what we do. Ruben is Ruben, so there you go for that. Amazing for what he was able to do for the album, but it was a cool process. I think it's something we're going to dive into for the future projects of just like, really taking ideas and letting them elevate and grow in real time versus kind of the other ways we've done it. So
Great. And you released it with some videos at the desert, and that was amazing. My favorite track is Endorphins. Do you have any favorite track for each one of you? Which one?
Endorphins?
Yeah, my favorite one.
It's a great one. Yeah, personally, Laurelwood for me.
Cool.
I like it. It's fun and
I like the whole album, but
thank you.
talking personally, yeah, Endorphins is my favorite one.
yeah.
Cool. What about you guys?
Honestly, I love Endorphins too. I think Endorphins is one of the most unique, all-encompassing ones from the album. But I also love Descent was Forever Feel and Descent, I feel like were the very, those are the first two. And Rob was being modest. He was a huge part about creating the sonic soundscape of the album, which became something that we did not want to stray too far away from once the sound was introduced. And Forever Feel and Descent, I think, were like the two like starting points of like, okay, this is the world that we're living in. Let's make sure we make the rest of the album within this world.
Nice.
And those are big ones for me.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All of them have a special place on that project. I love every time I'm put on the album. I just like pause for a second when I listen to Wildest Dreams, for whatever that moment is. I love it, and I can just sit back and be like, okay, this is amazing. So
That's great to hear that. And now you're in Brazil. That's your first time here, right? That's the first time that you came to Brazil. Finally, you came to Brazil. You have a show on Friday, right?
Friday,
Yeah.
yep.
But you were recording something special over here. Can you tell me a little bit about what's happening here? That jam session with some Brazilian artists.
Yeah, because it's our first time here, we figured it would be a good time to meet the local musicians and
Great.
really get a taste of what the culture and the music in this country is about. And luckily, we had Leo and some friends that helped invite some really amazing musicians and vocalists and artists to come join us. And we did a few hours of just meeting for the first time with these people to like find the middle ground, play together for the first time, record it on video in this amazing studio, and see what happens. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a few videos come out with that.
Great.
I'm sure.
I heard something. You choose some really good tracks like Tim Maia and George Benjor, some
Yeah.
great Brazilian artists here. And where we will see that at your YouTube channel?
That will be on our YouTube. Yeah.
Nice. When you release that, do you have any dates? Do you know something?
No idea. Let's call it 2.5 months. From now.
Okay. And do you know something more about Brazilian music? Something that did you have any contact before with Brazilian music? Do you know something?
I'm sure everyone has a little bit. Yeah.
Cool.
Honestly, for me, I got here a couple weeks ago. I went to Rio, stayed in Copacabana for a few days, and then I went to Salvador
Great.
and spent a few days there with my partner. And that was like so eye-opening, just understanding the beginning of bossa nova and how it like evolved from samba, and seeing some traditional samba in Rio, and then Rio, and then seeing some amazing traditional music in Salvador, and just understanding the evolution. I was so interested of like how understanding where it started, like where bossa nova started. And it's amazing music, and I just feel like I just grazed the surface like a couple weeks ago when I got here.
I was going to say, me and Rob in college, we studied with a great percussionist named Michael Spiro.
Wow.
So he showed us a lot of this music.
Great.
And he would always talk of how awesome it was to be in Brazil, and like
So cool.
he wanted us to go there and like experience it. So like to be
And then
finally
you're
here
having this.
is really
Pretty
cool. And
Awesome.
I think a cool thing is it's such like feel based music. So to like be able to play it with musicians who grew up playing it is really cool. And this band is also like, we don't read charts or read music. We just hear things and like try to feel it. So we kind of mixed our things together and made a little mesh of what we do with the funky thing and then the
it all feels
Brazilian.
like a great
So
jam.
it was a really
Cool.
cool experience in that
Cool.
sense.
yeah, I was gonna say, even in addition to that, getting here yesterday, we were able to get everything situated. We ended up going to 3 different shows last night. So we went to one jam session, then went to go see Mike Stern play at Bourbon Street. And then we went to this late night session. And it's amazing because, it's a whole crew. They're playing funk music, but there's just that little bit of extra Brazilian seasoning
salad,
over the funk stuff that they were playing. So it's amazing that I can already tell, like, being here just for the little amount of time I've been here, just like, no matter what is actually being played, there's still that little bit of Brazilian flavor in every genre. I'm assuming that musicians play out here, and that was really cool to see.
Nice. That's good to hear that. And one thing that I always ask, if you could choose, just pick one song to listen every day for the rest of your life. Which one of you would choose? Just one song. Choose to keep listening on repeat. Who will be the first?
I would go as Stevie Wonder. It's still like it's long. We get a lot out of it because it's
Great.
got so much and the message. And Stevie's one of the best to ever do it. And yeah, that's my choice.
Great. What about you guys?
I think I would have to go with some Chick Corea. He has a song called Windows. It's like a
Nice.
jazz tune, and there's just so much in there. And every time I hear it, I hear a new interaction with the musicians.
Great,
So
great.
great song.
I would actually say Jamaican Funk, Tom Brown. I would listen to that song
Nice.
for the rest of my life.
That's great. All good choices.
Yeah.
What's your answer?
I'm not sure. Today, I think American Idiot for Green Day. So, guys,
What are you
take.
trying to say about it?
You want to say something?
And so on that note,
No. So, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for having me here and to dive into our culture. And so, see you at the concert. We'll be there.
thank you for having us.
All right.
Appreciate you.
See you guys.
We're American idiots.